booties for black girl nerds.
Hi, ladies. How are you both?
Hi, how are you?
I'm jealous of this blurry background. Like,
Everyone has it.
I need this background.
Wow, you have such a gorgeous background. If I had like such a glamorous setup, I would never use the blur.
Oh, well, thank you. It takes time. Well, how are you, beautiful? I love your shirt.
Oh, thank you. And I'm doing well. Excited to be here with you both today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. So just to get us started, I actually have a question for both of you. I feel like it's at the soul and the heart of this film, but I wanted to know, what does the song Amazing Grace mean to you?
Well, Amazing Grace for me means that, it's a reminder of God's mercy and his grace for us, and that is so amazing. And I think that's what this movie is about, God's grace, and how no matter what, we can always go back to his amazing grace, which is sufficient and is always pouring with love, and it always picks you up whenever you need. Whenever you fall, his grace always lifts you up. And that's what I love about this film.
For me, and I think we talked about this during the EPK, I feel like God's grace exists between people, the way we treat each other and the way we love each other. I definitely felt that in making this film with all of the women that I got to share time with. So the meaning of God's grace and the experience of making this movie kind of coincided with each other in a really beautiful way.
No, I couldn't agree more. And I think that, of course, we see this through Iris and Tanner, and we see this kind of message of just grace and forgiveness. And I also wanted to ask both of you, what makes the bond between Iris and Tanner so strong?
Well, I think that they met each other at a time where they really needed each other. Iris experiences a significant loss in her life and meets Tanner, and I think expects to be helping Tanner, but doesn't realize how much Tanner helps her. And so they kind of go on this journey where they're sisters to each other, but they also kind of become mother figures to each other as well through their friendship. And that's what I felt was really beautiful about the way that they met.
Oh, it's my turn. I agree with the mother figure. It's really about, how they find each other at the right time, really, and protect each other, and how they, how friends, you think it's going to be one thing and it becomes this beautiful story and this love for each other that you don't see coming. They were both curious of each other, and I think that's what makes this story so beautiful, is that curiosity can lead to a beautiful friendship. And if people were more curious about each other, maybe we wouldn't be in so much turmoil and craziness as we are as a country and as a world.
Right, I definitely agree. And I think that that's what the movie asks people to do, is kind of listen and let someone else tell their story. So my next question is for you, Bresha. So there's a point, Bresha?
Bresha.
Oh, Bresha, I'm sorry about that, Bresha. So there's a point in the story in which Tanner is trying to explain to Iris that, being homeless or having, not having a home is, about a circumstance, about situation. And I wanted to ask you, what exactly is Tanner trying to convey to Iris and other people about the circumstances that we get in our lives?
I think Tanner is expressing to Iris in that moment is that not to just take someone as face value of what they've put themselves in. Some things you can't control. Some things you can control and some things you can't control. And those are the circumstances in the life that you're given. The life that she was given was that her grandmother died, when she was a very young age, and she was put into foster care, and she had a whole life of this life that was not what she was born into. And, you know, it was circumstances that brought her to that place. And I feel like Tanner is, you know, her story, and hopefully what people will see is that just take people for who they are right there and how they treat you. And let that be the conversation, and let your heart guide you in that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I just feel like Tanner is just, she's not asking for help. She's just moving through it. And I feel like a lot of people right now in this climate are moving through it. And if people were more concerned and took a little time to talk to people and take them just for who they are right there in their face. Hello, how are you? And not judging people for where they are and how they got there. Maybe we could help each other a little bit more. And I think that's what she's talking about. She was like, don't judge me. Just take me in for what I am. You're judging me, you know?
Right. No, I think she definitely comes in and, you know, says that she doesn't want to be treated like some sob story or, you know, anything like that. So I think that that's definitely something that connects to so many people. And, you know, kind of for both of your characters, Tanner and Iris, you know, I wanted to ask, you know, first, what makes Tanner such a compelling character? And then what makes Iris a compelling character? And that's just, you know, a question for both of you. If you, you know, if one person wants to take Iris, someone wants to take Tanner, just talk about what makes them compelling characters throughout the movie.
Well, I'll speak for you, Getty. I think Iris is a compelling character because she's in a place of trying to put things back together. She's trying to save her mom's shop, you know, and she's trying to figure out her life in a new chapter. And I could relate to that. I feel like a lot of young women can relate to that, you know, trying to pick up the pieces with a lost parent and just trying to salvage what you have left and find yourself. And that's what I found compelling about Iris's character is the hope that she has, the hope that she has in love, the hope that she has, well, the lost hope that she has in love, and then she regains it little by little, but she has so much hope. She has hope in the store. She has hope in Tanner. She has hope for so much. And that's why I love Iris's character, because her curiosity and her heart is the reason why this movie exists, you know, because if it was up to Tanner, Tanner would have been sitting out in the rain, you know, in the cold. And because of Iris's hope is what brings Tanner, you know, back to life.
Well, if I can speak for Bresha's character, Tanner, I feel like Tanner has a wisdom that most people our age don't yet have, we haven't yet achieved. Tanner has a pride in the community that they've both been raised in, but that Tanner has really been a part of the whole time in a way that Iris has come in and out of it. And she sees beauty in places that other people dismiss. And so I think, you know, watching Bresha play Tanner, it kind of reminded me of like, you know, the neighborhood that I come from and my dreams of like, you know, making people proud and feeling like there are a lot of things that could be said about my community, but I could also be part of that conversation. I can be part of that discourse. Like this comes from this community, but also she comes from this community as well. And so when I was watching Bresha play Tanner, I was incredibly proud. I was incredibly proud of her as a leader on the set, you know, in this town in Ottawa where there are not that many Black people, period, you know, and she would come on and all of the background actors would be so excited and she would crack jokes with everyone. But I was also just really proud of like, Tanner reminded me of my own journey, you know, that sometimes the struggles that you face coming from a certain place also give you the strength that you need when you navigate other places. So that's what I loved about Tanner.
Oh, I love hearing you both show love for each other's characters and, both of yourselves just in the movie, just beautiful. And I want to thank you both so much for a lovely interview.
Yes, thank you
Thank you
so
for your
much.
time.
Yeah, of course. Have a lovely rest of your day.
God bless.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Oh, you too.
You. Same here.
Oh, thank you. So just to get us started off, I feel like Amazing Grace is it's such the heart and soul of this film. And I wanted to ask you, what does the song Amazing Grace mean to you?
The song Amazing Grace means that no matter, how far we may have traveled away from our original purpose, there's always an opportunity to come back. There's always an opportunity to start again, um, to start over. And, something about grace, it's free. You don't have to pay for it. It just extends itself. And so that's what I love about the song itself, and what it means. That, when you think of the lyrics to the song, it literally talks about where that person had been, and they had come to a point in their journey that things had to change and they needed to turn around. And so Amazing Grace is what brought them there.
No, definitely. And I feel like there's such a journey in this movie as we see Tanner and Iris get to know each other. And also, there's this strong contrast between them. And I wanted to ask, especially in the beginning, why was it important for Iris and Tanner to have very different lifestyles?
Because I think that is reflective of life. We come into contact with people of different backgrounds every day, and we are given the opportunity to accept, extend, or move away from, in a negative way. And so, what I thought was beautiful was that these two different women who had crossed very different paths came together, and both of them had to make a decision. And whether that decision was to extend and embrace, or disconnect and go the other way. And the beauty is they found a common ground, and that common ground was love. And I think if many of us would look, we would find that same common ground among us all.
No, I think that's so wonderfully said. And, we see that journey to how they get there. And we see that connection, kind of like you said, to the message of Amazing Grace. So I wanted to ask, in your opinion, what makes this a story of both challenge and triumph?
What makes it a story of challenge and triumph is, both ladies went through their own challenges. Um, Iris and her past with her mother, Tanner and her past with her family, and her brother. Um, but the beauty is how their paths, how their journeys, and how their lives were connected through tragedy. Um, it was the same way through triumph. Their paths were also connected. So, as children, their paths connected through triumph. As adults, their paths connected. Well, let me say this again. As children, their paths connected through tragedy with the loss of Tanner's mom. As adults, their cross paths with triumph because they were both able to overcome the pain of the past and push toward the promise of the future. And so, it the film is complete with challenges, conflict, and then it culminates with love, family coming back together, redemption, and of course grace.
No, and I love seeing that, as we watch the movie, we see each of the characters kind of go through their own metamorphosis and kind of to, develop into their own truth. And I think that's kind of what's so powerful. And I wanted to ask, just while making the movie, were there any, particular obstacles that you all came across? And if so, how did you deal with them?
Well, when you think about obstacles as African American female filmmakers and or producers, there's always challenges. You know, there are always things to overcome. But the beauty is we were able to overcome them, you know, locations, budgeting, you know, different issues that you work through to get to the finish line. And you know, we had great partners in Own, great partners in Muse, and together we knew that, listen, we've got to get this done. We need to make this happen, and so we did it. You know, but there are always steps and hurdles and challenges as producers that we go through in order to achieve the finished product.
Wonderful. And like my final question is, after people see Amazing Grace, what are the messages that you hope that they walk away with and, kind of take with them?
Um, I'm hoping that they are able to walk away with the, the conviction that no matter where I've been, it will never dictate where I'm going if I allow grace to guide me.
And I feel like it is just that, a very much a guiding light film that is going to be something perfect to remind people that, they are always going to be worthy of like redemption, and that there's always a chance to change and always a chance to, embrace someone new in their lives. So thank you so much for, sending that message home. And I can't wait to share the film with others.
Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure to speak with you.
Oh, you too, Dr. Carter. Take care.
You too. Bye bye.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.